I'm Paul Perkins with the check of your ag weather. With the storm track staying north of Nebraska, the forecast stays dry through the weekend. After highs this afternoon in the mid-60s to the low 70s, a warm front tracks east. And tomorrow is our warmest day of the next week with widespread highs in the 70s. Low pressure tracking across the northern plains pushes a cold front south through Nebraska and Kansas for Wednesday. Behind that front, north wind gusts to 30 to 35 are likely on Wednesday. Pacific air with the front drops our highs Wednesday to the mid-50s to the low 60s. The cooling trend bottoms out with seasonal highs on Thursday in the low to mid-50s. Southerly winds off approaching low pressure boost our highs into the mid to upper 50s on Friday, in the upper 50s to the mid-60s for the weekend. A ridge of high pressure maintains the dry and mild weather for early next week. That's reflected very much so in the long-term forecast. Warmer than normal temperatures are very likely for Nebraska, Kansas, and much of the U.S. this weekend through November 19th, especially for Nebraska and Kansas 8 to 14 days from now. Slightly below normal precipitation is indicated for Nebraska and Kansas this weekend through early next week. That's before a trend of slightly above normal precipitation the late half of next week through November 19th. Key weather factors impacting the markets include variable temperatures with occasional precipitation in the U.S., heavy rain returning to southern Brazil, a drier forecast in central Brazil, and improved rain for Argentina. Active weather prevails the next several days across much of the northern U.S. as Pacific storms quickly move eastward right near the Canadian border. Late in the week, there is a break in the pattern as Canadian high pressure surges southward. Cooler weather accompanies the high pressure, especially from the northern plains into the northeast. The second half of the week, parts of the southeast should receive much needed rain as the cold front becomes more active. Total rainfall could reach 1 to 2 inches or more from eastern Texas into the Tennessee Valley. In the northern U.S., most of the precipitation the next 5 days should total an inch or less. Across the Midwest, the occasional precipitation makes the remaining field work difficult in some cases, especially across the north, but could help with water levels in the Mississippi River. Mostly dry weather should prevail the next 5 days in the Central Plains, the Mid-Mississippi Valley, Florida, and the Southwest. For the Central and Southern Plains, near or above normal temperatures the next couple of weeks makes the moisture very important for root development of wheat just before going dormant for winter. Southern Brazil's drier weather this past weekend won't last as the chance for additional heavy rain moves in later this week and weekend. Flooding across South Brazil has produced issues for pulling wheat out and planting and developing corn and soybeans. Central Brazil saw a nice boost in rainfall over the weekend. Rainfall this weekend, the weekend, will be below normal in central Brazil, increasing concerns for slower soybean planting as producers wait for better soil moisture. This could also cause issues with the second crop corn in central Brazil later this season. Argentina was dry over the weekend after a week of good rain. Scattered rain in Argentina tomorrow and Wednesday, followed by more rain for Friday through the weekend, a benefit for most areas as the weather continues a positive turn. With the check of your ag weather, I'm Paul Perkins.